Hi, my lovely students. I hope you're all doing well and safe and sound. Today we have a reading lesson. Please open your student's book, page 86. And the lesson's objective today, I will understand a text about antiques. Before we start reading, we have this picture on page 86. At the left top of the page, next to reading, we have the word skit. So our lesson today is a skit, and a skit is a small play. We have actors, setting, they have dialogues or conversation. The name of this skit or play is What Is It Worth? Worth means value or price of something. So when you ask about something, what is it worth? You want to know how much this thing is, or what is the value of this thing, or what is the price of this thing. As we can see in the picture, we have a cast. The cast is the group or team of actors. They are Tim and Mary, brother and sister, and Mr. Burns. He is an antiques expert, as we can see here. Frederick Burns, antiques expert. Antiques means old object, and an expert is someone specialized in something, someone professional. He knows a lot about this thing. So here, Mr. Burns is a professional person. He knows a lot about antiques. So let's listen, please.
What's It Worth? By Lucy Reynolds. Cast: Tim, Mary, brother and sister. Mr. Burns, antiques expert. Setting: an indoor antiques market. Tim and Mary enter the antiques market. They have a small dish with them. Mr. Burns is sitting at a table with some books about antiques on it. There is a sign on the table that says, Frederick Burns, antiques expert. Pointing to the dish Tim is holding.
Excuse me, sir. Could you please look at this for us? It might be worth a lot of money.
Taking the dish from Tim.
Let's see. What do you have here?
Shrugging his shoulders.
I'm not sure. We found it in our attic. It was with our great-grandmother's things, so it's probably really old.
Running her hand across the dish.
Do you think it was used for sugar or jam?
Mr. Burns picks up the dish and examines it carefully. He doesn't seem to be very impressed.
Or maybe to hold jewelry? That's what our Aunt Gloria does with her little dish that's just like this one.
Yes, you're both right about how people use these dishes today. But years ago, this kind of dish was used to hold salt.
He puts the dish on the table.
Salt?
Yes, it's probably from the 1930s or so. You see, people used to put salt for each person in these little dishes. After the 1940s, people started to use salt shakers, and these little dishes were no longer made.
So are they worth a lot now?
No, not really. This one's in pretty good shape. A dish like it was a very common part of a large set of dishes. If you had the whole set, all the plates, saucers, cups, and so on, it might be worth a lot. But for just one little dish, I'd say about $6.
Disappointed.
I suppose that's why Aunt Gloria just puts her jewelry in it.
Mary reaches over to pick up the dish. Mr. Burns suddenly notices the necklace Mary is wearing and gasps in surprise.
My goodness! Where did you get that necklace you're wearing?
This necklace? It was in a cardboard box with some old costume jewelry that my mother gave me.
In disbelief.
Costume jewelry?
Trying to clarify.
You know, it's just fake stuff and cheap. Why?
Examining the necklace more closely.
Well, this is a very rare type of necklace from Venice, in Italy.
Really?
Yes, indeed. And this particular necklace has a very unusual design.
What's it worth?
Well, I would say it's worth close to $5,000.
Shocked,
$5,000?
Mary grabs Tim and starts to run away. Surprised,
Wait, where are you going?
calling back over her shoulder,
That cardboard box is full of jewelry. I'm going to get it and bring it back here.
So now that we have listened to the text, I'll read it to you and explain it more simply. The first thing I want to explain or clarify, this here, the text in gray or between these two brackets, is used to give us some information about the actual play. It means if we are trying to act this play out, we need some instructions. We want to know how the people are reacting, how they look like, what they think. So first, they had to explain to us the setting. It means where the play is happening, where it's taking place. It is in an indoor antiques market. It is inside a market that's for antiques. And here they explain the movement of people, their facial expressions, how they look like, sometimes what they think or what they are doing. And the text in black is their dialogues, the things they are saying. So Tim and Mary enter an antiques market. They enter the market, and one of them, Tim, is holding a plate or a dish with him. It is an old plate, small one. And we have Mr. Burns sitting on the table with some books and antiques and the sign I told you about before that says Frederick Burns, Antiques Expert. So Mary points to the dish that Tim is holding. Pointing is like that. She points to the dish. And then she asks Mr. Frederick, "Excuse me, sir, could you please look at this for us?" She wants to know its price. It might be worth a lot of money. So Tim and Mary took this dish or plate to Mr. Burns because they think it's very valuable and expensive. Taking the dish from Tim, let's see, what do we have here? So Mr. Burns takes the dish from Tim and starts looking at it. Tim, shrugging his shoulders, I'm not sure. We found it in our attic. Shrugging his shoulder, as I told you, these in brackets to show us their movements. This is when you shrug your shoulders, you do this movement. So Tim says, I don't know, I'm not sure. Where did they find it? In their attic. An attic, or this section, in the top of the place, on the top of your house, under the roof. They found it in their attic. It was with our great-grandmother's thing, so it's probably really old. Running her hands across the dish. Do you think it was used for sugar or jam? So Mary starts guessing what this plate is used for. Why did they use it? For keeping sugar or jam? Mr. Burns picks up the dish and examines it carefully. He starts looking at it carefully. He doesn't seem to be very impressed. He's like, He doesn't find the dish very interesting. Or maybe to hold jewelry. That's what our Aunt Gloria does with her little dish that's just like this one. So Tim is trying to guess what this dish is used for. Mr. Burns says, yes, you're both right about how people use these dishes today. So people today use these dishes either to keep sugar or jam, or to put their jewelry, or hold their jewelry. But years ago, this kind of dishes, or this dish, was used to hold salt. So Mary exclaims, salt? Mr. Burns, yes. It's probably from the 1930s or so. Yes, it is very old, you see. People used to put salt for each person in these little dishes. So when we have the dinner, for example, and we have the table, we put salt in these little dishes and put them on the table, just like most of us do. After the 1940s, people started to use salt shakers, and these little dishes were no longer made. What are salt shakers that we use to hold salt? These are salt shakers, and most of us have these salt shakers in our houses. So, are they worth a lot now? He means these little dishes. Are they valuable now? No, not really. This one's in pretty good shape, and it still looks good, this little dish. A dish like it was a very common part of a large set of dishes. If you had the whole set, all the plates, saucers, cups, and so on, it might be worth a lot. But for just one little dish, I'd say about $6. So this dish is a part of a set of dishes. What is a set? Here, this is a set. This here and this. We have the plates or dishes, the saucers, the dishes we put the sauces in, and the cups, these cups. So if Tim and Mary had this entire set, it would be really valuable. But for one small dish, it is about $6. It's very cheap. Tim is disappointed. Just like that. Tim is sad because why? They thought this dish is very valuable, but it turns out it's not. I suppose that's why Aunt Gloria just puts her jewelry in it. Because it's not very important, she just uses it to put her jewelry. Mary reaches over to pick up the dish. Mr. Burns suddenly notices the necklace Mary's wearing and gasps in surprise. So when Mary comes closer to Mr. Burns to take the dish, he sees the necklace she is wearing. The necklace is this. He sees it, and he gasps in surprise. He gasps in surprise like that. Wow. Why is that? And he says, my goodness, where did you get that necklace you're wearing? He says, where did you get it from? Where do you have this necklace? And Mary is like, this necklace? It was in a cardboard box with some old costume jewelry that my mother gave me. She found it in a cardboard box, like that. A box that has a lot of jewelry, and her mother gave it to her. In disbelief. Costume jewelry? It means he doesn't believe what she's saying. Like, do you refer to this? Do you say this is a costume jewelry? Trying to clarify, she's trying to explain what she says. You know, it's just fake stuff and cheap. Why? Fake means something that is not real, not original, not very expensive. So she thinks that the necklace she is wearing is fake and is cheap. Examining the necklace more closely, so he starts looking more closely at the necklace she's wearing. Well, this is a very rare type of necklace from Venice in Italy. Rare means something uncommon, special, extraordinary, something that we don't see every day, something that we don't have. So her necklace turned out to be something amazing. And it's from Venice in Italy. And Venice is a very beautiful city in Italy, as you can see here. Really? Tim didn't believe it. Yes, indeed, of course. And this particular necklace has a very unusual design. So it is very special. Ah, what is it worth? Then she starts asking him. Then what is its price? Or is it really valuable? Well, I would say it is worth close to $5,000. Tim here is shocked. $5,000? Wow. Mary grabs Tim and starts to run away. So Mary holds Tim's hand and starts running. So Mr. Burns starts shouting or calling her. Wait, where are you going? Calling back over her shoulder, she says, that cardboard box is full of jewelry. I'm going to get it and bring it back here. So she means that the cardboard box that she found, like this, that had a lot of jewelry, she's going to bring it to get it and give it to Mr. Burns to see how valuable the other jewelry are. There are a lot of jewelry in it, and she wants to know the price of everything that is in the box. So in this lesson, we have reached our objective and we have learned or understood the text that talks about antiques. I hope you understood everything and I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one. Thank you.